Hi, thank you for joining today's meetup. And today I invite Chitra to join us, be our speaker, and she will give us overall and a little workshop for Octagon Studio. So that's give her a welcome pose. Hey, and yeah, so I will pass the baton for you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Dominic, for the introduction. Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here and joining actually my first workshop at XReality Academy. This is exciting. It's nice that it's a casual one as well. And so I'm Chitra. I'm a marketing and project manager at Octagon Studio. Octagon Studio is a tech company. We specialize in AR, VR, and MR products and solutions. And today I will be talking about a virtual gallery platform that we built. And our first project that we did on that is actually a collaboration between Octagon Studio, Disrupt Space, which is a London-based Black art agency, and IDS Foundation UK. So that's my introduction. Let me know when I can share my screen just so we can start.
Yeah, feel free to share your screen now. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so we have been doing a lot of projects, obviously. Octagon Studio has been around since 2015. And so we've been working with a lot of clients and global partners into doing a lot of app creation projects. We do a lot of web AR projects. We also used to do, not so much recently, but we used to do a lot of motion graphics as well. And so today what I want to talk about is the virtual gallery platform that I spoke about before, which is this one. Looking at how also rapidly it's been evolving and how these sort of technology also sort of change, and they also develop a lot of compatibilities and magical things that you can do with it. And so I come from an art background. I graduated from LaSalle, Singapore, so I had a fine arts background, and I used to work with a lot of artists when I was living in Bali. I was working at an art gallery, and then I worked also in an art studio and an art therapy studio when I was still in Singapore. And looking back at how we had a lot of art happenings and art events going on, and how much like physical it's been. I mean, now that we implement this sort of technology, it never really, at least until today, it's not so much something that we use to replace what we have in real life. That experience of going into an art exhibition physically and connecting with people there, looking at artworks up close, seeing it at artworks up close and in person, and what this technology does is completely something different, and also something that I feel like would only be powerful if it go parallel to one another. So what we did for Disrupt Space is that we create a backend platform that connects into a mobile application. And so the artist and us, we curate the virtual art exhibition through this backend platform, whereby we do the uploading of the works and uploading all the artwork details. And then when you publish it, it goes to the mobile app. And you can also actually view it on a web viewer, but the experience is going to be very limited. So that's the basic of it. And so, yeah, there are two outcomes. And because of the limitation of anything web-based, you go to the app for the full experiences. And you also go to the app for the full features. And that's also kind of where it's special. Like, the features are what's helping you communicate and do more and give more to your viewer everywhere in the world, because everyone can access this anywhere they are. So this is where you log in. We give Disrupt Space an email and password to log in to this account. I'm using their platform as like a base for this website and workshop, I mean. We have a few. So if you see here, the black box is their first virtual art exhibition. They're doing another collaboration with Decode It. And on the left is Obtanium, which is Octagon Studio's first NFT project. This is not published, actually. I'm just using this to upload the artworks to see as like a demo for like a sort of like a simulation, just to see how it looks and how we want to take the base of this into its own platform eventually. So at the moment, we are allowing image-based files, and we are in the process of doing GIFs and videos. So if you go inside one of the exhibitions, this is where you set up the exhibition, sort of like the exhibition profile. So we have a list of 3D galleries. The exhibition layouts are basically like a compilation of 3D galleries that we've prepared for Disrupt Space for them to use, basically to curate exhibitions. And then you can see here, obviously every exhibition has a name, has a title. You put this is where you define what the show is about. So you go type in the exhibition name, you can do the start date. We did have an end date, but I feel like after a while we felt like it didn't really make sense because it's a digital thing. Like there is something different about having to move yourself out from a space because the next exhibition coming in and this one is just gonna live there forever. You can take it down if you don't want it to be accessible again, but at the end of the day, you kind of want them to always be there eventually. So exhibition description is something that you would just basically explain about it, and you upload the poster image here as well. And the button here, you see the publish this exhibition button is what you can click, and then you can save, and then it will publish itself on the mobile app as well as the web app. So I'm gonna go into the Octagon. So you click curate exhibition and then it will take you into the frames in the 3D galleries that you choose. I have some artworks already put up just to make time efficient. So this is where you put in the images of the artwork. If you need more frames, you add more here, or if you need to add in more images, you put in there. And then if you click edit artwork, this is where you upload the image. There's a preview of how it would look like in AR later on. And then you fill in the artwork details. And this is basically is going to come up with, if you click on the artwork in the virtual gallery, it will show you the artist name, the title of the artwork, what year it is, medium, dimension. And then you have 2 URLs that you can input here. You have the artist profile, and then you have the web store where you're selling the artwork, if you're selling it. So you can choose whether it's for sale, sold, or not for sale. And on this app, we obviously put it on count. And then the activate AR mode button here, you click it. If you want that to be ARable, you activate it from here, and then you save it. So this is the wall text. You know, when you go into an exhibition, usually you would see like a text that they mount on the wall. It's sometimes you have more than one, sometimes you have just like a few, or a very short one, very long one. So that's your chance to actually also put a wall text within the exhibition. It's usually used to, you know, link a text with some sort of like explanation of what the show is about, something a little bit more in depth about what the concept of the exhibition, things like that. So from there, we go to the live edit where we curate the exhibition. You put the artworks now to the walls. So from your chosen 3D gallery, you go in here, and then you will see at the bottom, this is taking a while because it's a bit of artwork, so it's loading. you can basically place the artwork, just like click on the artwork and then you click on the wall. I have most put up at this point because yeah, just to make it time efficient. And basically you can see when there's like a blue tick on the images, meaning that it's been put up. So you will see some that don't have the blue tick, meaning they're still available and you can still put it someplace else. That's where the wall text go. And there's also this thing that you can do whereby, so for example, I'm gonna be putting one artwork on that wall. And then the artwork, you can click on the artwork and click reposition so you can drag it around. So you can replace this again as well. So you click on the art, we can actually replace it with another image that's still available. And then once you're done, you click save. And then that's basically it. Basically, that exhibition that you just curate would come up in the web app and in the mobile app. I'm going to show you how it looks like in the mobile app right now. This is also not published. Actually, it's on test flight mode. So I'm screen recording this from a test flight that I have access to. So here's where you have like the list of the exhibitions that has been put up. And I enter from here, and then it will show you like the basic tutorial. You can visit again this tutorial if you don't understand how to use it for first timers. So from here, you can see the wall text coming out, and you can go around by tapping on the floor. So there are two ways of doing this. Actually, like the button on the top right is for ARing the entire 3D of the gallery onto your space. So that way you can actually like walk around the gallery as you move with your device. What I'm doing at the moment is just tapping on the floor, and it navigates through the gallery by just tapping on the floor, and you can click on the artworks and AR it to your space. So there are two types of ARing in this app. One is through the virtual gallery, which is what I'm doing at the moment. And the other one later on is through a catalog feature, which I'm going to show you shortly. So this is how you do the AR. And you can also change wall texture. The button at the bottom right is for changing the ambience of the room. You can change the wall and the floor. So we go into the catalog feature. This feature actually enables you to augment multiple artworks in one go. And there are a few ways that you can do with it. One is, obviously if you're a buyer and you wanted to purchase artworks, this helps you envision how the artwork looks like in your space. And then another way that it's actually good at is, if you are setting up a physical exhibition, you have a lot of physical work to do, mounting the work, measuring and all that. And this helps to envision the proportion of the artworks on the wall, like the heights and, the lightings and the positioning basically of the artwork. And it may not give you like the direct sense of, how things would look like in real life, but it is a good pilot system to test out the composition of the entire room. And you see before in the live edit, you can replace artwork that you have put up on the wall. You can actually do the same thing here. So if you feel like you wanted to change one artwork into another one, you can click on the replace button, and then you just click another artwork and then it replaces it. So you don't exactly have to, position it again and forget how you did it the first time. And this is how you view it on the web viewer. And if you share the link of disruptspaceuk.octagonstudio.com, it will take you to basically the same thing. But what it does is it's a web version of it, which only has one AR feature. It can only AR one artwork at the same at once. And it's very limited. It's a very limited feature, but also at the same time, it's nice because people don't have to download an app first, because sometimes the experience got killed there. It's easy for people to get put off when you have to download something first. So this is like a good preview step if you wanted to just sort of show around what you've done, and you want to get like quick attention to what you've done artistically. This is one of the way. But there are a few differences in like the quality that comes out from a web viewer as opposed to what you have in the mobile app. Stability is one of them, and also the stability of the visual, the AR of the artwork. I don't know if you can see it. It will come out soon when the AR has come out. My dog is gonna walk at some point around here, so just be, yeah. The lighting of the AR work is a little bit different than the one inside the app. And obviously the quality is much better contained inside the app. So with what we've done with the app, and obviously it is a very powerful marketing tool, as well as a very new way, art could be brought to anyone, anywhere at all. But obviously with these particular technologies, we have a lot of obstacles in both executing it as well as using it on a day-to-day basis. At Octagon Studio, have noticed we struggle a lot is to decide whether we want the user experience to be top-notch, or we want to keep the visual quality top-notch. So at the moment, you can't really have the best of both worlds. I feel like if you want the user experience to be smooth, you kind of have to think again about how high you want the resolution of the image to be. It cannot be too high. If it's too high, it's going to be loading very long. And then, if you want the AR quality to be very great, then the user experience might get killed down because it will load so long. And then, sometimes when you open the app, you have one artworks or like one wall text coming out, but like not the rest. So things like that. But overall, I feel like if you can find that sweet spot between selecting I feel like the dimension of the artwork really, really helps. The bigger you make the artwork look like in the virtual gallery, actually, the better it looks like. Because when you talk about a virtual world, it's not a replica of what's happening in real life, but it's not so much that, but it's something that you kind of want to do a little bit different. You want something about it that offers something that maybe in real life you can't do. I mean, in real life, you can't really change your environment just like in clicks away, for example. And then the second one, I feel like when we're talking about augmented reality, I feel like device compatibility is another thing that is actually key, but it's not something that you can really control either. I mean, obviously, Apple, Android, iOS, they keep changing and they keep upgrading. You can't keep up. I can't keep up. It's something that they would require you to upgrade. And through these upgrades, something about those AR experiences that you've created needs to change again. And we hit sometimes a situation whereby when we upgrade our iOS or our Android device, and then you try opening the virtual gallery again, you try ARing it again, some devices in some phones are not going to be compatible anymore to do that. So they have like some sort of like a downgrade of what they will have on their phone, which is sad because you want the experience to stay the same, the quality to stay the same, but in reality there's going to be some limitations. And then the third one is the adaptation of AR VR technologies, itself, for people in general. We know it exists, but we haven't really implemented these technologies in real life on a day-to-day basis. Meaning, people can know it exists, but you may not be interested enough to experience it because of, for example, of those, first few steps that you have to do in order to reach that experience, for example, or getting familiarizing yourself with how to use an AR something to your space, for example. There are a few steps to that I feel like if you're coming from, a company or you're used to doing that, that it's not a big deal for you. Their level of understanding about these particular things can vary. And so it's not something that you can necessarily make everybody understand just like that. And so you have to keep showing them how to do it. And you just have to keep pushing it out in order for people to get what it does and how to use it. And the fourth one, the extent to which AR and VR enhance art experiences themselves. I have mentioned this a few times throughout this workshop so far that, we create this platform. And to be honest, initially in my head, when we first started this project with Disrupt Space, I was in that headspace where I feel like this is gonna be like everything that I tried to do with the features, with like the way it looks and things like that. My only knowledge in my head is something physical, like what I've done in the past with like a team of art museum, with like a team of art gallery curator, whereby frames matter, lightings matter, and having that physical events is not just about the art. And it is not exactly the same thing with this thing. It's a very digital thing. So if you want this to pop out, you kind of have to offer something different. You maybe have to relate something that is a necessity to human being in their daily lives into this. For example, the ability to be earning from a platform like this. If we're talking about NFT it's also a matter of time until, the buzzword again, the metaverse, until that really kicks off, and then the possibilities are endless, and it's big. Like the possibilities to be growing this platform, it has a few directions it can go to. And, obviously that metaverse is one of those, having virtual events, having that sort of engagement with real people from the other end. And at the moment we are trying not to lose time in making things happen, at the same time trying to be true to what we want this platform to do, and also at the end of the day having it be useful for artists, especially because this is a virtual art platform. Our audience and our target market are artists and art curator and art enthusiasts. And so, but it's not, at the end of the day, it's not just going to be for artists. I feel like you need some sort of connection with like the general public with these specific platforms, and let them do more with it. And so I think today is a very exciting time to be exploring that. Everybody's already getting on metaverses, and a lot of NFT projects out there have been working and developing a lot of really sci-fi things that I can't even keep up, and my peers at Octagon Studio, we are working on that. So like, it's scary what these technologies are going to be doing for us, but it can also be something very useful and powerful, but it will, in my opinion, never replace if we're talking about art experiences, there are just some things that you cannot replace from like real life. So you need it to be something different. I think it's a very short one. You can scan this if you want to go to that, to Disrupt Space UK to see the virtual exhibitions. And if you want to try the AR features, you can do so. I think that's all from me. We can go to Q&A. Is that enough time, Dominique? Like, I feel like it's a very short one.
Oh, I think it's a pretty good time, you know, like 40 minutes. I would say this is
Oh, really? It
really
was
good.
40
Yeah,
minutes?
30, 40, because we start from 10:10, right? Any questions?
Yeah, we had a talk not too long ago from someone from Echo 3D. And you mentioned problems with having to update your app all the time. And this is something, maybe as an example, that Echo 3D seems to do, and that is isolate you from needing to do those updates, because they do all of that internally. And then you can create an app, they say in 15 minutes, that lets you set up a whole bunch of these virtual things. So that may be something to look at as a sample or example on how you might set up things so that you don't have to do quite so much work. Another thing is you may be able to improve your rendering speed by breaking your gallery up into separate but connected rooms. That may reduce the rendering load. I'm not sure. I'm not certain on how Disrupt Space has stuff set up. I was just curious, how many app users do you have?
For Disrupt Space or Octagon Studios apps?
For your own studios.
Octagon Studios, at the moment, we have around 10 million app downloads. Most our apps are from are connected to our 40 plus products. So I have it right here. Actually, I'm going to grab it 1 second. So these are products from our companies, basically children educational AR flashcards, and each individual packs of cards, they have their own individual apps for now. It works that way. And all these apps, as well as some other apps that we've had that is not relating to any sort of products, but more for the ones that we created for our clients. Disrupt Space Art is one of them. Yeah, we have around 10 million app downloads at the moment.
Do you do NFTs right now?
Yeah, I was explaining. So the Octanium, which is the exhibition that I was showing earlier, this one, these are the 2D characters from the NFT project. So this is our first NFT project. Octanium is our first NFT project. And it is 10,000 generated collectible NFT arts. We're basing the concept on a periodic table. So it's a chemistry inspired project. And it's very exciting.
So when someone buys one of your NFTs, what do they, I'm very interested in the whole NFT space. When someone buys one of your NFTs, what do they actually own? And do you still retain ownership of some of the rights to those?
I think the way I'm also very new with the NFT thing, but from what I gather, holders of our NFT arts would, one, have ownership obviously of the artwork. Two, you're gonna later on be able to AR the artwork, because this is going to be something related to the next stage development of the project. So our roadmap, I'm gonna link again after this workshop, just like links of our website, the Octanium's website, and all the roadmap information is there. We have about 4 or 5, if I'm not mistaken, stages of milestones, and so in each stages of roadmap, we have sort of like achievements that we aim for. At the end of it, the ideal situation would be that we're going to have Octoverse, which is the metaverse of this thing. And holders of the NFT arts have access to one floor of the metaverse that they can utilize for a lot of things. And then second of all, they can AR the artworks in the 3D form of it later on. That can be your avatar for the metaverse. This is all sound so sci-fi at the moment, even for me. So but also for every single sales after it's been sold to our whitelister, our OGs, we have a little percentage of that. And I think it works that way for everyone else as well. I think when you buy a minted work and then you sell it again, your price goes higher, you sell it again, and then the next person gets higher and gets higher. I think the initial artist will always have a little bit percentage of that. That's my understanding of it. I might be wrong. But to answer, I mean, not to answer, your two inputs in the beginning, when I mentioned app updates, it's not so much the contents of the app. The app itself already updates by themselves. It's more the device compatibility. Like if you upgrade it to iOS 15, if you upgrade it to iOS,
right.
Some apps you cannot open again when you upgrade your iOS, for example.
Right, and supposedly Echo 3D takes care of that. In fact, one major issue. One major issue that we've run into with Unity is that it is very version dependent. And so when you move from one version to the next, a lot of your stuff can break. And Echo 3D automatically takes care of that as well. And they have a device independent platform. So it's a nice example to look at to see, is there a way that we can get this kind of functionality so that it's less work for us, to develop.
Yeah, that's a really interesting Echo 3D. I'm gonna have a look at it after this.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Hi, this is ET. I have a question, if I may.
ET, hi.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just gonna stop sharing 1 second. Sorry. Yeah, go for it.
Thank you for a great demo, and I'm very interested in what you're doing. I work in healthcare, so I'm always looking for new tech that I can migrate over to health and wellness. Actually, I work in the voice space, and a lot of, started with the chatbots and the speakers and all that, and I've evolved into talking avatars and metaverse. And like Jim, I have, latency issues. When you have a patient with chemo brain or recovering from a heart attack, they don't want to do a lot of reading. So I was looking at your world text and all of that. And also I'm big on multiple languages. I'm pushing products, challenging Google and even Alexa. I want 40 languages minimum, and they say they're going to give them to me, but we're not there yet. But like Jim, as I look at the interoperability, and I'm wondering, can we put voice? You said you were going to do video, and I'm actually experimenting with Unreal, they're metahumans in that, and putting voice, but I also want two-way voice where people can ask questions and get a response. So that's my gig right now. We're not totally there yet. We do it for cars, but I want to do it in health. But what I like about yours is that it's more of a gamification. If I'm trying to get a patient to understand what kind of tumor cell they have, they don't want to hear a lot of technical mumbo jumbo. Let's say, like, you have breast cancer, okay? That's bad enough. But if I can explain to you the reason why you have to go through a certain treatment, or why your genetic model is different than somebody else's, so that your children, your daughters will understand what form of cancer you had, and archive that. So it's like a virtual medical record, okay? But I need to incorporate voice, not just a lot of reading. And so I would just hope, if you find anything, or if you have that on scale. You talked about education and your flashcards and games. So take that basic premise, but then flip it to me or somebody in healthcare. And Indonesia, they do cool stuff with health. I would love to be there in their cancer centers, doing some specific stuff. But giving them the tools to take all of the technical stuff that they're doing and bring it into this metaverse, where you now have a virtual medical record and you can edit it, you can update it, it's almost like an ancestry.com without
Yeah.
all of the privacy issues, because Ancestry
Yeah.
wants your DNA and they want to sell it. Okay. They want to sell it to medical companies. I'm saying is have your own medical vault, but have this as a tool. So
Yeah.
that's where my mind was at. I was getting so excited while you were presenting. So, I love
Yeah.
what you're doing. I'd love to stay in touch. You can ping me on LinkedIn and
Yeah,
maybe we
will do.
can
Will
figure
do.
this out together at some point. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Emily. What you mentioned reminded me of two things. One is one of our 40 plus series is called Humanoid 40 plus. I'm gonna share the link after this on like a YouTube, so you can see how it works. But basically, Humanoid 40 plus was designed more for like an older children, as opposed to Animal 40 plus or Dinosaur, which is more for like the younger group of age. And in a Humanoid app, it breaks down human anatomy and some organism, human organisms, how they work. So we have like muscular system, we have the skeleton, we have the digestive system, and it has like a boy model, like this big of like a boy model that there's a stand for it as well. And then the rest of the organ cards that come with it, you can place next to it, which also has a stand next to it. And then from the app, you can scan it, and it has that app has a lot of interactions and features that contains a lot of very informative text as well as video and sound.
Send me a
so-
link or a
yeah,
page.
we'll do. We'll do.
That because
I'll
I,
also
I
send
think
you
I think you're most of the way there,
Mhm.
and it's interesting. And like you said, is you want to not have what we do now. Right now, if I were to put you in a clinical trial, you get a binder that's 450
Yeah.
pages. And then you get all these web links that you're supposed to schedule
Have a
your
look at one by
appointments
one.
and all that. And it's totally crazy, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to make it easier. And a lot of times you want to pass this information on. Usually there's a breast cancer patient in the family. There's 4 or 5 others that will get it later or need to be screened because they might already have it. So, and taking that fear factor out of it, making it more of a not just a game, but a curiosity without the fear and the sometimes even just going into a clinic, it smells different, it's cold,
Yeah,
you don't know the
exactly.
strangers,
Mhm.
having a friendly avatar or an avatar that you create or a card that you can learn about and talk to it or interact
Yeah.
with it, I think is 1,000% better than what we have.
Mhm. Yeah, I will share you the links to our products, some of the videos, and yeah, I can also share, our web store if you would like to have a look at the products up close. But thank you for your commentary and excitement. I think it's also interesting when you were mentioning visualization is like one of the most powerful part about augmented reality is the visualizations. That's why it's also a very powerful marketing tool. We work a lot with clients that want a 3D visualizations with animations and in buttons that they can place informations and to make people more engaged in the information that they want to take out. And it can be either from like a QR code scan away, which is like a web AR based, or like an app creation that contains a lot of either their campaigns or if it's like a big project, then they're going to be wanting a lot of features in there. And if we're talking about, because obviously with all these technologies, one of the things that have been put into the spotlight of where it's going to be implemented on is the medical field and engineering field. With engineering field, it's helpful. It's great. We did a demo project of Tesla. We did a project with Triton submarines with Richard Garriott for his mission to Marina Trench, to the Marina Trench. That was very excited. And with engineering projects, the 3D visualization, you can go as far. And if you don't really hit the spot of like, you know, crazy, like little leathery details of it all, you can still get away with it. But when we were talking about the medical field, at the moment, I feel like you can go as far as being visually appealing and informative. But if you wanted to, let's say, train doctors do you know, certain operation or something like that, it's very exciting. People have done that previously. I've seen them. It's great. It's a very advanced thing to have, you know, at workspace. But also the challenge is to make sure that you're accurate with, you know, certain things. And so there are levels of details to like the medical industry that you can reach today. And
Yeah, healthcare is definitely the hardest, you know. I've been
yeah.
around the block here in Silicon Valley for a long time, and I went from high tech into biotech and actually became a clinical researcher when I myself got cancer. I'd like to hear what Vahid has to say, because I'm sure he's got something to contribute. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Emily.
Hey, great demo. Thank you. I have a few questions. I saw how do you move the art pieces around? Like, are you using pointer, a finger?
Yeah, so if when you augment the AR, you're gonna have to first of all like scan your surface until this green grid pops out, and when that green grid pops out, you tap on that grid. So that's where the artwork is going to come out. And this is also one of the things that it takes practice to get used to augmenting things around. Is your device is going to ask you to scan a surface, and that surface cannot have light reflection. You know, it needs to not be too bright, not too dark. You know, these kinds of stuff is like it takes into account as well. But when you click on the grid and then it takes out the artwork for you, you can drag it just like that, and then you can drag to left and right to rotate it.
And you mean like I have a phone and I'm using my finger on the screen and moving it around?
If you want to move around the augmented artwork, then you would do
Okay,
it.
my position, but how do I move the actual piece?
So yeah, just drag on, yeah, like that. Like
Okay.
you drag it on your screen like
Just
that.
drag it like that?
Yeah.
Okay. And
So
does
that's
it
where-
support headsets right now?
Not at the moment. We some of our apps do have the VR mode, and we used to produce. We don't really produce it anymore, but we still have it at the office. We have a VR goggle called VR Luna previously that we use. You still need your phone to use it, but if the app has a VR mode, you can go on the VR mode and you can actually place the phone on the goggle, and you can
Okay.
have the virtual reality experience.
And are you going to have, and do you see it getting popular to take pictures of physical artwork and putting that up? Or do you see this mainly digital?
I think with VR headsets, it's a very like a full-on immersive experience, right? Like your vision is fully enclosed by this device. You don't see anything else. If you still use your phone like this, what's left or right or in front of you or behind you, you can still see them, you can still hear them, and your experience is from your phone, which is still very exciting to me. I feel like, you know, if you see it like this, you can't really see anything, but on your screen you have like 4 artworks already mounted on the wall, for example. But the VR, I feel like, yeah, it could be a hit. I mean, it could be a high. It's not big in Indonesia though. Like in my understanding, I think in the US is more popular. But at the moment, I don't think a lot of people are using it yet.
I think I
And
had
you can
a
only
different
post-
question. My question was, like, I think
Oh, sorry.
maybe you paint, right? So if you have a
Oh,
painting,
right, so you want like the art making process to be in the VR, you mean?
no, like you've made a beautiful piece physically, and do you foresee yourself just taking a picture of that and then putting that into the AR space? Like
Um,
a real painting? Um,
Probably,
or do you
but
see
then
this mainly digital pieces?
I feel like if the end result is the same, that process of uploading the image is you're gonna have to go through either you upload an image or you take a photo of an artwork in front of you, and that becomes an image anyway. So the process is technically the same, but there is that step that's different in the beginning.
Okay.
And if you're asking me whether or not that's going to be useful in the future, probably. I still feel maybe it's easier if you have the file of the artwork. And also, I don't know if artists are going to gravitate towards doing that process of, making artworks, taking a photo, and having it on a VR
Makes
headset.
sense,
If
yeah.
it's on an app, maybe it's useful because it's a very immediate thing,
Mhm.
right? It can be from your phone at the end of the day, right? If you have your phone there, you just drew something or you just painted something, and then you take a picture of that artwork and then it goes into the app. If that's the case, maybe that's useful because it's more immediate, and then you can have something put up very fast and then you can share that around already.
Right.
But also we have Disrupt Spaces artists here. Maybe they have more input coming from artists' perspective.
Okay, you don't work for Disrupt Space. I was having difficulty understanding. Is that correct?
Sorry?
You don't work for Disrupt Space?
We collaborate in creating this app for them.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
good. And so when I take when I put that piece in that room of yours with your dog, and the next day, let's say I come back with my phone, it's still there. I don't have to do anything to put it up. It recognizes where it was supposed.
Oh no! At the moment, it's gone. You can save that image or video of it from the app. There is a photo and video. You can take a photo or you can take a video. It can go straight to your phone. But if you revisit it again some other time, it won't be there anymore.
Okay. And do you see this becoming a multi-user thing where there are other people in when I'm walking around looking at paintings? Is that something?
So the AR feature, I don't know if you remember in the mobile app, on the top right of the screen, there is a AR button with the foot. So if you click on that, it ARs the entire 3D gallery into your space. And we've done this before with a few people in the room. And if you have, I think now iOS 11 and above, if your phone is iOS 11 and above, or Android 4 or 5 and above, you can actually see other people. If they are still within that scope of space, you can see them inside the gallery from your screen with you.
Okay, great.
But obviously in real life, they don't see anything else. If you have to use your phone to see that they are in the same room as you. And yeah, you can share that experience by taking a photo or video of that and posting it around.
Very cool. Thank you.
So it's like a personal experience, I think. But it's still cool to have an experience.
Great.
Thank you.
Cool. Any other questions? Feel free to unmute yourself. Yeah. Anyone?
I think I did have a question at one point, Chitra, but I think you answered it throughout your whole dialogue. Thank you for that, by the way. You feel me?
Thank you so much for being here.
I wanted to mention one thing. Emily was asking me in the chat privately about you doing interactive voice. Now, Chitra, you indicated that you're not doing that, but I know Dom is offering classes in Unity right now, and I know other people have asked about this in the classes, for example. Dom, I think you have some expertise in using voice within Unity. Is that correct?
Yeah, I create, like a long time ago, I created a demo like a car showroom, and pretty much I sync Unity to, there's a website called AI. Yeah, it's kind of like pretty much the whole usage is that after export to an app and I spoke, and Unity will create a voice clip and it will sync to that platform, and that platform there will be some AI, bot, and I need to train, for example, like open the door, close the door, please open the door open. Yeah, I need to put a lot of different like things that represent door open, and the bot will listen and then start validate. And sometimes I need to go to the platform and revalidate and make sure the bot knows what's the human means by open the door. And there are different ways of talking. So it's like some exploration. And I find out that Unity can actually do this. And a lot of companies, I think, I don't know whether it's published or not, but I mean, there will be a lot of voice integration, in XR pretty soon.
Can you type in the name of that company?
Yes.
Or the URL, I should say?
Yes.
Yeah, Dom and I met earlier prior to this thing, and we talked about that. I actually met some of the Unity folks during CES, and they were looking at our automotive stuff and things we've done in Japan with Sapient. But like I said, as healthcare is harder, and I really feel, I even talked to one little gal in India who lost both parents because of COVID, and she's a medical student. She said, I'm going to figure this out. I go, well, let me help you, we'll do something. So it's a crazy world, but I love the fact that everyone is enthusiastic, and the metaverse can, like I said, just all the models and things, the use cases you guys have talked about are incredible. But I don't want the metaverse to be a silent movie. Remember those silent movies where they play the music and you type the text and you have to kind of guess, who the people are. I mean,
I know my wife does clinical trials. She organizes clinical trials. And so I understand where you're coming from. I understand what you're trying to do.
Yeah, so I want to empower people like your wife to, do the onboarding, to do the vendor education, all of these things in a metaverse, rather than taking 10 months just to launch a study.
Like you say, it's very complicated and time consuming. She goes through that all the time.
Jim, a quick question for you and anyone else here. Other than Unreal Engine and Unity, what other pieces of software are in that space?
For application or for web?
For building apps, games, and particularly VR at that low level.
I think there is also Roar.io. There is another one. Let me just have a look at my notes. I have it here.
Jim, you mentioned Echo 3D. Is that for
Echo 3D?
Yeah, echo3d.com. If you get at least the 7-day membership to Dom's XReality Academy, you'll find a talk on echo3d.com that was done probably 3 or 4 weeks ago. Is that right, Dom?
Yeah, right. Actually, the founder was doing a quick demo about how to use this. And I find out that the thing is easy is because you can use Unity, Unreal, and all the other platform and sync to their platform, and you can add it. So it's really powerful just because there are so many adjustments.
Plus, they provide the cloud service as well. And they use different providers. So even when Amazon went down, even when their AWS went down, their system didn't even hiccup because it used all the other providers as well.
And
And I can
Jim,
share.
are there any other platforms that use actual programming? So Unity has C# or .NET or whatever. Unreal has C++. Does Echo actually use code as well?
It will allow you to use all of those other platforms.
Okay. And any other software that you recommend?
Maybe Dom has some other recommendations, but that's all I can think of.
Great.
Oh,
thank you.
I would say, what's the goal for you?
For creating any kind of AR, VR experience. Like Chitra, I don't know, you work with software developers. They use something to make that artwork room.
We mostly just use Unity and a frame for the web AR stuff. And we don't really use any other software for app building at the moment. Just those two. The other one is probably native, but we don't really use that often.
Yeah, and as
Can
for
I chime in?
yeah,
I'm trying to get meetings with NVIDIA, because they're doing embedded chip stuff, and a lot of the things that I want to work are with sensors. So they've done wonderful things with cars and smart appliances, things like that. So again, I'm trying to pull it all together, but who wants to talk to a stupid refrigerator if it doesn't understand you? You have to keep repeating yourself. It's the language, the accents, things like that. So we're all trying to pull everything, but NVIDIA has the Omniverse stuff, and I met again at CES, and I'm trying to get on their beta list for some voice stuff. So, for more of the IoT and the edge level. So there's a lot going on. So that's why I said, link up with me. If you're interested in something, I'll share with you, you share with me, and we'll see we'll see how dangerous we can get.
You're brave to go to CES, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I just want to echo with Vahey's question. I would say probably Ethereal, right? Ethereal, and also Metaverse Engine. If you heard of it, I will start putting up all the links, and then those two are something that I heard of for you create your own animation, or you upload, and there will be some little twist, but they all have their platform, and you can upload and you can just immediately see something in your phone. It's like a really easy for creator, those two.
Yeah.
And for social media, you can use Spark AR, right? Spark AR from Facebook. You can create, actually in Spark AR, you can also create for Instagram, AR filter. Yeah, and Instagram, there's a new job title called AR filter influencer. So for example, there are millions. Yeah, and the way that to make money out of AR influencer is that girls or guys taking AR lens on their, like, record a video and post on it, and people just keep following and try the lens. So
the monetization process is crazy at the moment.
IG and Facebook. Yeah, Facebook AR. That's one system. Another one is Lens Studio, which is synced to Snapchat. So if you want to do some AR lens for Snapchat, and I would say that I personally try those two, and I personally like a Spark AR more. Why? Because I can upload larger 3D model, and during that time, back in 2019, I can it partnered with Sketchfab, so I can just go to Sketchfab and browse and just get in the asset. While Lens Studio, I think the maximum file size for 3D model is 4 MB or 8 MB, I forget. 4 MB is so small.
It's so small, but I feel like, I think Spark AR last time for IG filter, at least, it's still 4 megabytes.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's so easy to use, and it has like the knots. kind of like if you want to programming, you use Nuts. And as for Lens Studio, you need to use JavaScript, which I'm not really good at. So yeah, so those two are just like comparison. And if you want to do more like something fun, definitely, try those two. And yeah, Echo 3D is, I feel like Jim, I think the owner of Echo 3D should hire you as their salesperson, because you keep telling everyone to try it like ever since you joined that event. Yeah, Gus, do you have any thoughts, questions?
Yeah, actually, the question I did have for you came back. So when you were showing us the sort of the rooms, or the exhibitions rather, that we can sort of like host, are we able to like is there going to be like separate rooms, or like as the artists ourselves, are we able to like literally, I guess, like we can create exhibitions within those spaces and have them sort of separated by obviously what type of exhibition is regarding the theme or whatever it is that separates them?
So one of the things that we adjusted as we went along with the developments of that platform for you guys actually is that initially we have only two types of building we've created. Firstly, one is the one that I showed on the workshop, which is just like a one room with just one, it's just one room without interconnectedness to another room. And then the ones that you have been seeing repeatedly before, I think, Gus, is the one that we created, which has the 8 rooms in one big building initially, remember? And in reality, when we were doing that, from one room to room two, from room 1 to room 2, it was okay because it's considerably small in terms of room. And if you want to do the tap on the floor navigation system, that's fine. But sometimes when you wanted to AR that whole thing, your space may not even be big enough for the entire 8 rooms. So I think Michael was mentioning this previously, that we made an adjustment now that the options for the 3D now is the 8th room gallery one. We just break it down into each individual 3Ds now. So you have the museum room 1, museum room 2, museum room 3, and at the moment, room 1 and room 2 are still connecting. So it's that one we haven't changed from like the last one that we set up. It's just that we don't have anything put up for room 2, which actually is for your NFT arts. We were in discussion about this as well, right? We were compiling that artworks. So that would initially plan to be in room 2, and you can go to room 2 from room 1 in one exhibition. But we haven't activated it for the rest because it's like a big room that goes around it. But in reality, when you go into the digital world, when you click next to you go around the gallery, and at the end of the gallery you see another door that says next room. When you tap on that, it can actually take you to any other kinds of rooms that's in there. You don't have to necessarily use room 2 going from room 1. You can use like another layout, because we have a few layouts that you can use. Whatever that room is, you can connect that to the existing exhibition that you already have. So at the moment we are on there. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that answers it, Chitra. So thank you.
Thanks so much. Have you guys been actively promoting your NFT arts?
Well, actually, I minted something, I think, a few days ago, and I didn't really put anything out regarding this one. I think I made a small post on Instagram, but yeah, I need to get onto that. But the one I previously, before the one I just did, I was a bit more on top of that one. I made a post on Twitter the day I minted it, the same day, same thing on Instagram, and that sold a few days after. So nice. That was cool. Yeah, that was cool, got a sell. So that put a bit of a battery in my back. But yeah, it's like obviously being in the space and that, it's definitely it's a lot to learn and take in. But it's like the more I understand about the technology and blockchain, it's made me like, it's made me appreciate what I'm doing, and it's almost made me look at it beyond, oh, like, I mean, obviously I can make money off this, right? But it's really like the technology that we're using, the whole blockchain, from what I understand of it, which isn't a lot, but I've tried to learn more, and it's
worth learning.
Definitely more than about money, you know. It's like so empowering to, it's beyond artists. It's like any individual that wishes to sort of like, there's so many ways you can use this technology. Do you know what I mean? Obviously it's empowering for the artists, but in the next couple of years, you know, there could be a whole other venture that, you know, another group of people could.
I think next month also, like it's very fast.
Yeah.
But going into this workshop, actually, Dom, for everyone here, one of the things that I would like feedback from, that I've been seeking as well, just like anywhere I go, it's just like asking. But because this topic that I bring in to the table today is not so much like, it's not so much technical conversations, but it's more about like the implementation and the usage of the technology in the industry, and in this particular one, the art industry. And I know not everyone here is from the art, not everybody here has like an art background or anything, but it really doesn't matter. But I guess what I wanted to also know from you guys, if you have this kind of platform offered to you for what it can be used for, how relevant and how, like, what would you expect from that, and what do you expect for it to do that actually would be of use in real life? Because, you know, sometimes it's really easy to get carried away with the features of it without actually touching base on what it can be used for that can enhance someone else's career or someone else's like ways of marketing their own products or their own art or their own anything. And I saw in the group, the chat, there's 8-Ball. I went to their stall. I tried their web AR game.
Yeah.
It's hard to use, to be honest with you.
I see.
Did you try that?
I didn't try it, but I kind of know what's going on, because before,
But they're cool.
Yeah, they are pretty cool, and they have a lot of template, and you can jump in and using.
I kind of want to try using their SDK, but maybe we'll see. We'll see how stable it is.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Hi, Chitra. Thank you for the presentation so far.
Hi, Dama.
Could I just ask, were you saying that the room 2, we just answering to Gus, is going to be for our NFTs, did you say?
Yeah, I also know that you sent us a video work. It's not a 2D art. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds cool. But if I go back to the gallery first, questions I had when you were presenting was a few. One was scale. So scale of the actual artwork that will be put in the virtual gallery. So in the gallery, it's a virtual gallery for our pieces, our physical pieces. So this is separate to the NFT for sale. So one is, would there be scope to present like the scale, different size of different pieces that would be putting up? Just thinking of the user experience. So if you're looking at an actual gallery, you can see the different size. I mean, naturally, you can see the dimensions from where they're written, but to actually see the pieces visually kind of next to each other, is that something that can be done? One, and it's also related to, you were talking about the higher res and the image quality of the pieces. There's something to do with the sizes. So that's kind of related to it. And also, third thing, because they're the actual pieces themselves that we'll be selling in the virtual gallery, is there some thought about the frames that they might be framed in? Because there might be something that's, well, I know it is something that's important to some people. So
yeah,
Is that something important, or is giving that some thought? So
Yes, we want to have at least 2 or 3 options before, but what we have been struggling to do is obviously compressing the texture to ensure the experience is not killed first because of the loading time and like just all the bugs that we have to be facing because of that. And so now we have just like this, the plain one, but we did add the shadow at the back. So now it doesn't look that flat anymore. But we still want to have frames, or at least options for frames. And for the size, correct me if I'm understanding you wrong, but for the dimension, you can, when you put the artwork details, you have the dimension like something but times something. What you input from there is the actual size of the artwork, right? But we also noticed as we went along with the development as well, you guys sort of want that freedom of rescaling however you want for the virtual art exhibitions. And we understand that because we also, I don't know if you remember when I was showing you the NFT projects, I just made most of them 100 by 100 centimeters dimension. And then I have like 4 walls that has almost 2 meters long. It's not like that in real life, but at the same time, why not, you know? But what I wanted to keep true to the real dimension is the AR version of it. So there's going to be 2 data at the end of the day. One is the one that you're going to be inputting from the artwork details form, which is going to be the actual size of the artwork. Second one is the data of the dimension you input from the live edit step of it, which is just for the virtual gallery. And I think there you can really go explore. And now, okay, so just like a backstory before this this back-end platform becomes what it is now. Before that, in the 3D of the gallery, there are frames that's set up for the artist to just click on the artwork and then it will just stay there. So we have like a template of like default frames that are already on the wall. And the artists kind of want, you know, to be able to drag and drop however they want, because they, you know, they sometimes want some artworks to be closer to each other, some artwork to be higher, like they don't want to be restrained to a certain positionings of frames. So we actually achieved that, but as we were testing it, there's also a little bit of difficulties in terms of like, we just haven't really found the sweet spot into ensuring that if you are curating one wall and then making sure that the wall over there has like exactly the same spacing from one artwork to the next. So that's also what something that we kind of want to have to make things easier as well for the user. If that makes sense. But is that your question?
yeah, it was really for the virtual galleries. Just as you look at it visually, as you're presenting the pieces that were there, I could see the different sizes just looking at it without going to check the information. And that, as a user, I'd say it gave me an indication of, you know, comparable sizes type of things, scale-wise. So I just wanted to see if that would be an option for that. I think as a user, you might like to be able to see the different comparisons of size before you even go and check the dimensions. And also the frames, I'm just asking because if some images are shot with the frame, because there's some I've got and the frame adds to it, I would say. So I'd shoot it with the frame, and that might make a difference to somebody to have the image there with the frame on it. So I just wanted to ask you about that, really.
Yeah, if the image that we upload has the frame around it, it will come out with the frame around it. Right. What we cannot really ensure at the moment is the sides around it.
Right.
So what you're gonna have around here may not have the same textures as the entire frames that you might see.
I see. I see.
That's possibly gonna be, the outcome is gonna be like that.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, and with the NFT you were asking, it was quite a journey for all of us, but I think most of us are on it doing something. For me personally, I'm just working on finishing off second piece to mint
Nice.
and put up for auction. But I am trying to go along the animation line. The first one I did was animated.
Yeah, a lot more video work I see.
Yeah, and audio as well. You know, so I'm thinking hard about keeping the audio going because I'm talking about the use of the griot tradition of where I come from, of the storytelling. I mean, like the vocal storytelling. So I'm thinking if I keep the audio going. So I don't know how much audio is used on the NFT.
Yeah, we do want a few virtual gallery platform that also already exists out there. They do have like if you click on some buttons in there, it has like the audio of either the artwork or just the entire exhibition thing. I don't know if we're allowed to say names here, but like there are a few other platforms that did it. And so, and I think this was also in discussion with you guys before, Demo and Paul as well, that you guys want some artworks to have, you know, like a storytelling thing. And we want to implement that button on the artist, either next to the artwork right away, or when you tap on the artwork, in the artwork details pop up. That's usually probably the best. But I feel like it needs to be outside because you want to be in the gallery, looking around, listening to it, as opposed to looking at a pop-up of an artwork detail. I think that would be best.
Yeah, cool. I like the sound of that.
Yeah, I can't wait to work with more with you guys. We haven't really, so this is also a reunion with Disrupt Spaces artists and Paul. We haven't spoken in a while. We haven't really regrouped to do a proper tutorial of this new backend that we've done. And so we're really excited because that NFT exhibition is going to happen. We're going to help them put together the NFT exhibition with the buttons that go straight to the minted artwork, as opposed to a web store now, because that's happening. So that's exciting. And yeah, I can't wait to regroup with all of you to go through that again.
Cool. Exciting. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, like recently I read a lot of NFT news and I have questions. For example, if I buy a real estate, it's just like auto topic, not really AR enabled mobile, but if I buy a real estate in, you know, metaverse, right? And like in, for example, like Decentraland or Sandbox or some other platform. And, you know, like if I buy this land and I know this land will be taken out, but yeah, what can I do? Or if I buy NFT, what can I do? I know like one video designer who bought a lot of NFT real estate and create a casino. And
there's a lot of gamification as well.
Yeah, right.
A lot of gamification that's been used. Snoop Dogg did a virtual concert through Sandbox, I think through Sandbox as well. He's also pretty active on NFT now. And also there are a lot of game characters now with like the accessories and everything that you are gonna have to collect to carry on building through that gamification. Those accessories and like all those like little compartments are also NFTs. So like there's a lot of layer to it. It depends on the project, I guess. But a lot of, you know, these different projects have like different sort of like concept and storylines as to how they want that to end up. Obviously, if you want, you know, a little bit of retention, you're gonna have to like do something more about the concept, right? Like either it needs to be something that is a continuous thing, and that would benefit the owner. And then if you're mentioning that land, yeah, people are selling lands, like lands where you can build houses and like buildings. And It's
hard to
crazy.
imagine. Yeah, and like another question is that if I pay, right? For example, if I buy a land on Decentraland and I pay Ethereum or something, right?
Mhm.
And then where the money go? Is that
To your
so?
wallet.
No. I mean, I pay for somebody to buy it. Is that Decentraland receive the money?
I think technically the wallet, I might get this mixed up. My peer knows this a lot more better than I do, but um, you mint through a wallet, so you have to put in
Huh.
ETH, or there are a number of
Yeah,
cryptocurrencies now. You use this wallet, and then you either mint or get money in from there.
Hmm.
And obviously Decentraland, like it's transparent. You can see everybody else's wallet in there.
Mm,
So
I see.
it's a
Oh,
bit, it's very, I mean, they have to, it's Decentraland. Like that's kind of
Yeah.
why they're trying to take it down. Because
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm wondering, like, for example, Decentraland and say everything's transparent, but if I buy land, right, then money will go somewhere, and where will be that money go? Where is the distance? Like, who did I pay?
I think it's the wallet. It's I'm not sure if it's like your wallet or like the MetaMask.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I have a wallet, right? But I
Your
send
wallet.
money to whom?
Right. So I haven't bought NFT in particular, but cryptocurrency in general. You have a unique key, like a private key, right?
Hmm,
It's
yeah.
like your
Yeah.
big password. When you send money to somebody, because they have the private key for whatever it is that unlocks on the blockchain,
Mhm.
they're the only ones who can access those tokens.
Hmm.
And so it's not like they're the only ones who can access it because they have this decryption key. So where did your tokens go? It's on the blockchain all the time. It's a matter of who has these, let's just call them passwords. Who has the passwords? They're able to unlock what's called a wallet. So if someone steals your password, they can steal all your tokens.
Your money.
Wow.
So you're
Literally
earning
one, literally one password.
ETH.
Yeah.
So-
For example, if I buy an apple from you, right? I pay like $1 for an apple, right? For
Okay.
example, yeah, and I pay, for example, cash. Like this is like my old traditional style,
Yeah.
like thinking. I get out of my wallet and I give you a cash, and you get the cash and I get the apple, right?
Sure.
And this like transfer to the NFT. I
Right.
buy a digital NFT token from Decentraland, right? I don't know. And
Well-
then when I pay one Ethereum, to whom that I get the apple? To
Right.
whom?
The wallets of the
Right. I give you, I give you a certain wallet address. It looks like just like a decryption key. It looks very simple.
Yeah, but you own the wallet, right? So,
Right, so I'm
pretty
the
much
only one-
Decentraland is printing out bunch of digital land to collect money, like big companies giving away a lot of stock, and it's another meaning is printing money, right?
Right.
I don't know. It's just my thought.
Might be a longer conversation, but if you wire money to my bank, where's the money? Because there's nothing physical.
But it's under you, so you are the beneficiary.
How
I'm
is
the
it
owner
under?
of the wallet, so I have the crypto money.
Yeah.
How is
yeah.
it that I have it? You wire money to my bank. It's because they know my face, my driver's license, my signature,
Yeah.
right? That's the only way I can unlock my money from my bank and actually get fiat money from them, right? On $100 bills. Kind of
Yeah.
similar to,
Oh.
in that sense, cryptocurrency, because we're talking about, transferring wire and stuff. I'm the only one who has this really big password. I don't have to physically go to a bank anymore. It's just I'm at my home. I have this password, and I'm able to now have access to move around the tokens that this password was able to unlock. If you log into your bank website, your bank, you're able to transfer and wire money from your home. How are you able to do that? Because you have a username and a password. There's nothing physical there. There's no dollar bills, even at your bank. They're constantly, right? And you're able to yet move money. You can take $100 and purchase my Apple at that point, right? But there's nothing physical still.
Yeah, but who gets that $1 under the decentralized account?
Yeah, decentralized blockchain is the right way. Who gets it? But
so whoever create the metaverse, all the money will come to their account, but they will create something, you know, anonymous, but it's all under their account. So they are printing the digital, you know.
They are. They
I
give
see.
you, okay, I see. You're talking about
the another way of, you know, government or, you know, the invisible hand to manipulate these types of thinking. So even though it's decentralized, but there's something still manipulate.
Right. So I give you it's an address that I give you every time you want to purchase land from me. I give you this long address. It's just a bunch of numbers and letters. And I say, here in your wallet, you have to say, I want to send 1 Ethereum to this address.
Oh, but you own this address, right?
Yes, I own it.
Okay. So
I'm
pretty much if
Mhm.
I am, I don't know, like if I am the boss or, you know, like the one who create decentral land, then I will keep creating a lot of digital land and people will keep buying it. I am the biggest realtor.
Yes.
Okay.
And there's this one long address, bunch of numbers and letters, and you give it to whoever wants to send you.
So decentralized is not actually decentralized. I don't know. Is someone still get the benefit by creating this virtual world, right?
I wonder what happens if you buy something like this and it evaporates at some point and you no longer have use of it. And who do you go after?
Yeah, right. If
How
I
do you
buy
do
a
that?
land,
Nobody.
and what if decentral land bankruptcy, right? And then what I got this land and what?
Yeah, that's kind of the gamble, I think.
Well,
Because
that's where, you don't have anything at that point.
Can I sue them? Like,
That's the beauty of decentralization is everyone wants, it's hard to sue or anything, right?
yeah, that's very dangerous. What did I bought? Yeah.
Who do you sue and under what court of jurisdiction, you know?
I think Mr. Como wanted to say something.
Yeah, I wanted to say at least they should have some incentive to stay alive, like maybe future transaction fees and you know, on this land buying and selling. But there must be something that will keep them, you know, motivated to function.
Yeah,
I think the auction platforms have a big part to play in this, thinking about it, because it goes through the auction platforms. So you auction on a platform, and of course they take their, as far as I know, the one we're on anyway, they take their percentage. So it's done through the auction platform. So the crypto will come into your wallet, and as you were saying, Vahid, once you give your wallet address, then someone can transfer into that. But attached to each NFT is a specific code, isn't there? So that's what you're passing on to the buyer. So you as the owner selling, whether you're the artist or not, it's once you're the owner, that token is with you. So that code is your ownership, and in the blockchain, it can be proved that you're the owner. So that's what you're passing on, that code. And the exchange is done through your wallets, the two of you, the buyer and the seller. But I think it's a very interesting point you're raising, because if all this should evaporate, because I think something to think about is while you've got your Ethereum or whatever it is in your metaverse wallet, sorry, MetaMask wallet, you got to think about at some stage, should I just keep it in there, or should I move it to my Coinbase and to my actual physical land-based centralized bank account? So it's actually something I can draw out physically in case, you know, in 2 years things fizzle out. I mean, so that's something to think about. What you do with the crypto that's in your mask, in your wallet. Sorry. So yeah, it's how far we can be removed from the centralization. You know, it's going to be a fight, obviously, because a lot of banks don't like it. Some banks, I couldn't transfer money from. Took ages to transfer money from my physical bank account to my Coinbase account. Now to try and find ways around it, and some banks block it. So it'll be a back and forward thing. So once you have money, crypto in your wallet, and you want to move it back into, you know, dollars or whatever it is, that's going to be a question. I think that's going to be a fight in the future. So I think that's coming up. So it's very interesting points you're raising.
Yeah, and another one question, like for example, if I buy an apple, right, I can eat the apple, right? It's benefit to my body and I need food. If I buy a coffee cup, I can put coffee in. And NFT, what can I do about it? I feel like this is a scam.
Tell it again for it's
Pyramid
about the
scam.
ownership of it, and
I don't know.
it's a very bizarre concept to me, because the factor of your success with NFT really
pyramid scam. The last one will
either
lose.
just pure luck, or if you get the right connection of some sort and like something blows up your project entirely and making it a trending topic or something like that. And yeah, there's a lot of layer to the NFT. Some people are doing it based on like wanting to share purely for their art. Some other people want to focus on the monetization parts of it. Some of it want to focus on you know, the gamification part of it. Some of you know, some of us just do honestly crap artwork just for the hype of it. You know, there's a lot like there's a very vast variety of artworks that are minted out there in the world right now. Some of them don't agree with some of them, but it's very interesting. How's your experience with it, Demo, so far?
Yeah, Demo.
Well, I had to go through a process of thinking of what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it. Am I going to engage with it from the first off? But from the off, I knew it blew my mind when I entered this new world, totally. But it blew my mind. It was more so because of all the ideas I was getting of what I could do with my art. So I've decided, as things stand now anyway, I love painting. That's what I do. So to carry on painting for now. So the piece I did is painted, and the next one is a painting. But to digitize it gives you the scope then either to make it 3D, so it's manipulable, turn it around, or at least to animate it. And as I was saying, add audio to it. So it's like, imagine you have a frame painting on your wall, physical piece, but it moves. You know, that was really exciting to me. So that's how I saw it as. So it's something I'm definitely going to carry on with. Engaging with the community, it does demand your time and your effort, but so does everything else, to try and, you know, engage with the community. And again, we're marketing ourselves as artists. If we've got something to sell, but I approach it from an artist point of view, in that first and foremost, you want to express yourself. You've got something to say, you've got a story to tell, or you just want to show what you've done or what you can do, and you want it to be seen and heard. And if there's a message that you're putting over, you want it to be heard and understood. So I approach it from an artist point of view, because that's what I am essentially. An example that you were saying with the apple, you've got your apple, you can eat it and everything else. So if you've got a piece of artwork, you got old master, what you can do is look at it on your wall. You can look at it. It's not food. It's not beneficial to your physical body. It's beneficial to your psyche and everything else. Now you've got it there. Who else can see it if you've got it in your place for anyone who comes there? And a comparison I saw, which really intrigued me, was Paris Hilton, funny enough, because she's minted an auction a few pieces, and she buys as well. So she has massive screens in her house, from what I read. And she shows NFTs on there, different screens in different rooms. So when people come, she plays through the NFTs that she's bought and shows them off that way. So it's something that's, you know, that's the comparable thing I think I've come across. So there is definitely a worth and a value that's comparable, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, I think NFT for artists, like truly put your heart and soul to create an art. I respect that, and I think this is great. However, for AI generate like apps or monkey's face, right?
Yeah.
All those like, you click a button and AI automatically generate a bunch of them and you start selling. I feel like this, like this is a little bit, I know digital art, right? Like the modern art, right? But I feel like it's kind of like a pyramid scheme, right? Like pyramid scheme is that I buy it earlier, right? And I sell to later, whoever the latest mouse who lose the money and the entire pyramid crash. So I don't know, it's just me. I feel like if NFT just, you create art out of AI, or, you just do something that without your mind and soul, there's no story, you're just purely trying to get the first and trying to get the unlucky guy to buy at the end. And so I feel like that's the money game.
I don't really, I see that, but I don't think I let that bother me really. I'm concerned with what I want to do. I see that happening, and I'm not going to be critical of it. It could be a fad. It could be games and fun some people are playing, or it's a money thing, or it's a notoriety thing. Whatever it is what it is. And I think dust, if you want to look at it that way, will settle at some stage where things regulate themselves a bit more crucially. Is what I feel and what I hope. Otherwise, if you get everybody just doing the same thing, what's going to happen?
Well, that's kind of what is bizarre about the concept. But it's really funny because actually Octanium, which is our first NFT project, was the 2D characters are generated through this tool that we created. And this generator is an avatar generator. So we actually generate the artworks through this tool, but you differentiate the accessories around the elements. And it's the generator part of this is the cheat way into having like thousands and thousands of 2D arts just like that. But I still feel strongly that you have to at least think about your concept. I mean, there's a lot of like those like surface level concepts out there that like really actually make it so well in the NFT industry, which is still blowing my mind until today. Like we spent hours and we're up for hours late at night to like push this project out and develop the concept and work on the accessories and things like that, and then we got beaten up by like some other projects who don't even pay attention to like the aesthetics or even just like the concept. And so that's kind of like the killer of the spirit, I feel like, to be doing art again. I feel like it's still, you need to balance, right? Like you want NFT. This is my personal perspective. I feel like my peers, each one has like different perspective towards this thing, but in my perspective, I feel like you cannot. I mean, if you're an artist, I wouldn't really. If I were an active, if I'm a thriving artist of some sort, I wouldn't want to rely on NFT for earnings or like just to like base my career around the NFT, because I feel like it's something that can collapse anytime. Like you don't know. It's like a digital thing,
and you couldn't sue anybody.
It's a great thing to have, and it's a very, very exciting concept. And in general, like it's mind-blowing how vast and how rapid it's ever growing, right? But it's also a dangerous space, because there's a lot of uncertainties around it, and there's a lot of at some point gravitating towards relying on that to like make it in the industry, being known, all the related stuff. And you just have to find that sweet spot between still being true to your art and having that NFT existent going to like a healthy extent, I feel like.
Yeah, that's exactly how I see it.
Yeah.
I think that NFTs are still in a very speculative phase right now. And, we're seeing these incredible prices that people are paying for things. And, what the heck, I've been thinking about throwing some stuff out there too. But I think you have to be careful. I just put a link into the chat that is from B&H, and they have a very good legal discussion from lawyers on the legalities of NFTs. And there's certain things you have to watch out for. For example, when I shoot models, I often have a non-commercial release that I have them sign. So if I sell an NFT that gives people all the rights to a photo that I shot with that model, and I only have a non-commercial release, then I'm in trouble. Because if they use it for some commercial purpose, like putting it on a label on a box for selling coffee or something, I could get sued. And so you want to watch out what you put in those NFTs. For example, one of the things they bring up is don't put a vehicle in there that shows a Ford logo, because Ford will sue you. So there are a lot of, there's some interesting things that you have to watch out for with these NFTs. And I think in the future, though, it's going to be an essential mechanism for artists of all types who want to bundle a series of rights all in one purchase. Like if you want to, sell an image that has a bundle of all the copyrights and so forth, an exclusive copyright to that image, then somebody can buy that and do whatever they want with it. And that can be a valuable thing. Right now, other than through NFTs, there's no way to do that. How on earth would you do that? You'd have to get into discussions and negotiations and know the right people to talk to and so forth. But these auction sites provide a venue for doing that very easily. So I think it's a very valuable thing to have in the future, but be careful of what you sell.
It'll be interesting on the legal angle, to see, because from what I picked up, a crucial in this short space of time I've been on this journey, is a crucial part is ownership, isn't it, with NFTs? So if there's a question of someone coming after you, as you were just explaining, whether it be the creator or the actual owner, because the owner is the owner. So it sounds like as ownership is so crucial, that'd be an interesting point to find out about. I mean, once you're the creator, you put it out there, it's no longer yours. Would it be the owner that, people?
Well, except you have a covenant. You have a legal covenant with the new owner. And if you sold it to them under conditions that weren't true, like you say, oh, I have the commercial rights to this, and you don't.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And then they could come back and sue you for breach of contract.
Yeah, that part I hear, definitely. And we're still tied to it as the creator, because of the, at least through the royalty angle that you still receive, for secondary sales onwards, so they're still tied to it in that way as well.
I think it's just fascinating.
Yeah, it is. But it's here, it's now, and either you're on it or you ignore it, and it happens anyway. Best to be with it, I think, is what I see.
I put a link in the chat. I don't know who Linda Yee is, but I'm going to attend her talk on NFTs for mental health.
Ooh, that's such a contradiction, but I love it.
Yeah, she can make comics, and now something about mental health. Anyway.
Ooh, interesting.
Guys, I'm gonna have to leave. Thank you.
Thank you for making it here today.
Yeah, thank you so much. And and hopefully see everyone next week. Yeah, and thank you, Chitra, right? Yeah, thank you so much for being our speaker.
And thanks for having me, Dom. It's nice to do this.
Yeah, thank you so much. I know.
One of many, I hope. This is like a warm up
Warm up. Yeah.
for me at least.
Cool. Yeah, thank you so much. And hopefully see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Bye. Have a good rest of the
Take care,
day.
guys. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.